Hey, it's Georgia Peach. I'm waiting on some more people to get in here. Hi, welcome to the channel. Hoping a few more people will show up and then I'll get started. Hello, Jeff Bear. Welcome to the channel. Glad to see you. How are you? Can you hear me okay? Pretty decent. I'm glad. All right. It looks like it's just you and I, so I'll get started. I had problems with my printer. Yeah, we've got 3 running around here. Then we have a big German Shepherd, but he's inside in the bedroom because he likes to jump our fence. We have a 18-year-old Chihuahua, a 17-year-old Chihuahua, and then one that's a little over a year old. But they are babies. I had quite a bit of news to share with y'all, and well, my printer decided not to print, and I had done deleted the screenshots of the news. So I had to scramble there at the last minute trying to get everything set up and going. On Fox News, I found that BLM co-founder says that bringing back the anti-crime unit will trigger violence. So, and I quote, "So when a police officer murders an innocent black person and people take it to the streets, I'm not going to get in the way of that because it's the American way," unquote. I am so tired of the BLM and the other one without going into it and getting in trouble. I'm tired of hearing about them. They do nothing but cause trouble, but yet when parents stand up for their kids in the school board meetings, the parents is labeled as domestic terrorists. But you have the BLM movement and the other movement that freely and openly say that they're going to riot and destroy stuff, but nothing's said or done about that. Just like the Kyle case, you know, he, it was self defense. Awesome. You'll have to let me know so I can subscribe. I'll be glad to subscribe. I like subscribing to different channels and looking at other creators' content. Job quitting has hit a record high as workers quitting their job surged in September. As job openings remain near an all-time high, the total number rose by 164,000 in September, bringing it to a record high of 4.4 million. You know, I believe that for the most part, most of them are doing it because of the jab. And I can't say I blame them. We shouldn't be forced to do something that we don't want to do. But that's my opinion. Our government shouldn't be allowed to tell us that we have to be immunized. Of course, back when we were kids, we had to have certain immunizations to go to school. But those jabs were well tested. They didn't just pop up out of the blue. Oh, I believe that if he does, if he is proclaimed as innocent, they're going to riot. Excuse me. I believe they're on riot either way it goes. But the prosecution's pretty much made the case for the defense, in my opinion. And that prosecutor is probably not going to have a job once the trial's over. And from my understanding, he's pretty much a newbie prosecutor anyway. And then we have all this mess going on over in Poland with Russia and Belarus. Poland's far right demands strong borders and Belarus crisis. Thousands marched in Warsaw on Thursday to mark Poland's Independence Day, led by far-right groups calling for strong borders while its troops blocked hundreds of new attempts by migrants to enter the country illegally from neighboring Belarus in a tense standoff. European Union has accused Belarus President of using the migrants as pawns in a hybrid attack to retaliate for sanctions from a harsh crackdown on dissent. I don't really know a lot about Poland or Belarus. Truthfully, I hadn't heard of Belarus until all this. But, to me, that's like our crisis on the southern border. I believe if you're going to come to a country, you should do it legally. Go through the process. But of course, with the current administration, it don't matter. Them can come on across the Rio Grande. When they are doing it in Canada too. I hadn't seen that, Jeff, but I believe you. I know Canada's getting worse, and they're not the only country. Look at Australia. If it's going on in these countries, how long is it going to be before it's, here? And I have family that works for the state, in the school system, and they've all said that if it becomes mandatory, not a mandate, but mandatory, that they will walk. And I don't blame them. Personally, I hope that he doesn't go to jail because even the camera feeds have shown that it was self-defense. France warns Russia over the Ukraine. Moscow denies weighing an attack against Ukraine. France warned Russia after the United States warned of its fears over Russian troop movement on the Ukrainian border and over a potential attack. Russia has actually sent bombers over Ukraine with nuclear missiles on the plane. They have moved one of their top troop carriers and all to the Ukraine border with the Ukraine. If that's not, seriously considering an attack, I don't know what is. With all this going on, I'm not saying it will turn into World War III. I'm just saying that it can. I agree. Trump, T-Man had a hard go of it. In the history of the United States, not one president has faced what T had to go through. Excuse me. And here you have the current administration, for lack of a better way of putting it, being stupid, and it's okay with the American public. I'm not saying that T-Man was, 100% right, because he wasn't. None of us are perfect. Only God was perfect. I did see that, Jeff, and I do not support it at all. You know, that's that's inhumane. Being taken and being forced to do this. If they were to come after me, they'd have to kill me. It'd be a cold day in hell before I took it. Because honestly, before the current administration came out saying it was going to be a mandate, I had honestly considered it. And then when he came out, placing mandates, I said no. Mm-mm. But we honestly need to stand as one, because united we stand, divided we fall. And if they come after my kids, that's really on them. Because even my youngest has said that she's not going to take it. And unfortunately, my oldest one did, but she done it of her own free will. I don't hold it against people that, do decide to take it, because, it's their own free choice to take it. I have family that's took it. Excuse me. But I was watching a live stream. Well, I caught, the replay on it. Usually I catch the replay on Native Voice and on Prepper Nation. I watch them daily because they both have a lot of good information. And I was watching Prepper Nation's replay, and he was talking about World War III, and he had a lot of good points. I hadn't seen that. I'm glad you let me know. That's seriously not good. But the other countries in the world seriously see us as being weak after the whole Afghanistan debacle. they look at the current administration as being extremely weak with the man in charge being in charge. At least with T-Man, there was a level of respect. He didn't put up with no BS from none of the other countries, including North Korea. But, we all have our own opinions. So, I'm glad. I mean, it's like I told somebody the other day, I come on and I do my best to present everybody with the news, and I try not to step on other creators' toes, so I try to gather news that, maybe someone else hasn't seen. And I use Fox News and Reuters and the American Press, and believe it or not, I use Al Jazeera English version. They do have a lot of good news articles, that you don't see other places, and I also use Yahoo News. And then I have an app for like the volcanoes and the earthquakes, because believe it or not, there is a lot of earthquakes and stuff on volcanoes you do not see in the news. And I follow a channel, I can't remember the name of it right offhand. And the guy, shows a lot of stuff that we're not seeing. I hope you have a good evening too, Jeff. I understand completely. I'm fixing to have to go, so I'm going to get supper myself. But have a good day, and I'm sure I'll see you out there. And with that, I'm going to close out. That's it for the news this week. I'll be back Monday unless something major happens. If so, I'll come on live. Maybe I'll go live sometime this weekend, and we'll see y'all later. Bye.